To the river, to the river we go. Leave our worries on the shore and drift away. On the river we know. Sometimes the perfect words are never said.
G'day my friends, Marty here from Marty's Garden. Great to see you here today. I just want to scroll that through with my theme song for the intro, just to show some of the people that have been supporting the new startup channel. And we're going to give you a bigger shout out further on down the line. So thank you so much everyone that's come in so far in today's live show. And if you're coming in for the rerun, we're looking at worm farming, all your questions answered, and we'll also cover any organic questions, any gardening questions that you may have, because we're all about regenerating the land here using compost worms, composting, and growing amazing plants and fresh food, using all our inputs that come from all over the place to create amazing gardens. And you know, we're moving into more of a self-sufficiency mode at the moment with the way that money's going and everything, and we all need to learn how to save dollars and get our gardens growing so we can grow better fresh food for ourselves as well. Like this morning, man, I had some stuff on my toast this morning on some beautiful organic bread out of the garden. I was just like, yep, we've been doing some lunches and dinners, but first time to put some breakfast on some toast, so pretty stoked about that. We are going to be going pretty much straight into the Q&A nearly straight away. Just wait for a few people to roll up, and we'll go over a couple of things before we get started. So again, I just want to thank everyone that's been supporting the channel so far. And if you want to do it, there's other ways you can. You can actually, if you want to learn more about worm farming quite quickly, you can go to straight away to the Buy Me a Coffee page, which is running on the software there. So that's got the Marty's Garden, starting a worm farm, a beginner's guide, and it's also here on my website martysgarden.com.au, where I was selling some compost and different things on there, and you can pick it up there. So if you're in Australia, you might want to grab it from the martysgarden.com.au, and there'll be a link down below there, because it's like it's $13, not too bad, and I think it works out if you're in America or something about $7 or $8. So you can pick it up in two places, and you can. It's another way if you just want to support and get some value at the same time. So I'll get back to my page here, and just running through this software. And we go back to the camera, and boom, gotta love that. I'm getting better slowly at this all the time. What do you think of the little intro at the front? Did you enjoy that? I just love that song, and it just makes my heart melt every time. And look, we've got some people starting to roll in, so welcome to you guys as well. As I said, we're going to be talking about everything to do with worm farming and composting and organic gardening today, but mostly we're going to be covering worm farming questions. And if you want to look at the problems, such as overfeeding, pests, temperature, seasons, escapees, breeding, we can cover all that stuff and more. And what will help me do is also help me understand you guys more about what you want for the upcoming worm farming channel. I haven't given the name out yet, because some people have been stealing my thunder here and there and grabbing some of my things that I'm doing. So I just want to launch it all at one time. And so start getting your worm farming questions ready. But what I'll do is I'll let you know where we're up to now, because you would have seen yesterday's video. If you haven't seen the last couple of videos, make sure you watch them, because then you'll start to understand the story. Just watch the first one and the second one in a row. So we've actually been able to purchase two sort of like DIY flow through worm farms. So they're like little small hungry bins, DIY ones. We've purchased 3,000 breeders, and then another compost worms, or a mixture of them, and another 3,000 of sort of like a mixture of babies, breeders, and cocoons. And I got them at a really good price, the two little flow bins, and the around about 6,000 worms from Shri up on the Gold Coast there. And a lovely Thai lady with this beautiful little garden. You'll see it in the post photo, her worm farms there. And she sells occasionally. She sells a few things. It was a bit of a drive, but man, what a beautiful place to go to. And yeah, made a good friend at the same time. So we've got a whole lot of breeders ready to go. We've also purchased a second-hand worm cafe. So and then I've got one of those round ones. I forget what they call them now, the round ones. Picked one of them up yesterday. Had a broken leg, so it's going to have to sit on some bricks and things. And I also got a square 1 cubic meter of mushroom compost. That's a little bit warm. It needs to sit a little bit longer, and just get some heat out of it. I'll wet it down a bit, and then that will be like a windrow sort of thing with some different stuff going on. So basically what I'm doing is I'm setting up a wormery, right? So if you like that concept, let me know. If you're watching the rerun, the comments box down below, or if you're engaged in the chat here, let me know if you'd like to see the build up of the wormery as we go. Now, I don't want to release too much information about it just yet, but we have received just over, I think, $300 now so far, and everything that's been come in, and including some little bit of my own money as well, has been helping us build that up. So we're still about 2/3 of the way there. I think the goal was to reach to around about 500, so we can just buy a couple more worm farms and get the wormery set up. But either way, we're pretty good. Like, we're ready to rock and roll. Just these few extras will really make things pop faster and get the wormery into a more efficient mode. This time of year is a great time of year where I am to breed up some good numbers, and then we can possibly look at getting some cash flow in by maybe selling a little bit of compost locally and maybe some castings and things like that, just to get a little bit of cash flow in. So yeah, we're looking at that. And so if we do that, it looks like we may be micro farming again just a little bit. Now that's exciting, isn't it? So remember, get your questions ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring people across this morning to say hello, because people have been having a good chat in here. And we've got Rick Thalane. Good morning, Marty, and everyone. Good morning, Rick. Thanks for coming. Unreal to see you here. And we got Deborah B. Morning. Mary. You called me Mary. Oh, maybe someone else's Mary in here. Oh, lol, Marty. That's all right. Aussie Grow Shows. G'day, mate. Good to see you here. Greenleaf Gardening. Hey, mate. Good to see you, buddy. I think it's a young bloke with his own little channel going on there. I think I've popped over. Are you still doing some videos over there, Greenleaf Gardening? Keep on rolling if you do, mate. If you are, mate. Castro. G'day to all fellow worm farmers. G'day, mate. Owain's Worm Farm. Good evening. Good evening. Good morning from here. Barry Watler. G'day, Marty, and everyone else. And great crew here this morning turned up. Thanks so much for coming to check out the live show. So far, we've got 18 people watching, 9 thumbs up. If you're digging the show already and you like the new theme song at the beginning and everything that I've spoken about so far, give us a big thumbs up. It's pretty exciting. And I do have some news, though. This will be the last live show for this year, because I am starting the second channel, and then we're going to be sort of like filming here for the Marty's Garden channel as well. So yeah, last live show, unless I do some sporadic ones here and there, I've got a bit of free time. But I'll let you know like in the posts. So if you keep an eye on my posts, you'll know if anything else is coming up. We'll also be putting photos in the posts of the garden, because what happens is the vlogs, they don't perform so well like they should, like they used to these days. And so, you know, just doing sort of garden update tours and things like that, I just don't know if I'm going to be doing those. But we will be. You will see in the videos the way I'm doing it at the beginning. You'll see like little mini tours of the garden when we're first kicking off, if the data shows that people are watching those intros or those sections. Because what's happening is people are dropping off, and then YouTube stops sharing the videos, and then it's like, hey, well, if they're not sharing the videos, there's no point in running the channel, because I do it this is my business. So yeah, so we got to do what's also for you guys. And oh man, it's all about actually for you guys, because when you drop off, it means that you don't like it. So I just follow the data and go what the masses sort of do, even though some people might go, oh, I want to have a tour. There might only be like 5 people that want a tour. I don't know. So I've just got to follow the data and work on that. And but I'll try my best to sort of like sneak it in to the video so you can always have a look. But there'll definitely be in the posts. I'll be snapping photos of the growth of the garden and things like that. And so you need to keep an eye on there, and you can watch it. So either way, you'll get to see it. Greenleaf Garden. Is it morning for other people watching? It's 5:06 p.m. for me. Look, it's 9:15 a.m. here, mate. 10:05 over there for Wayne's. And Barry, it's the morning. I think, yep, Queensland. Is that right, Barry? Anyway, how you going, mate? Are you feeling a bit better these days? Is everything going good? Capybara, you're my lollipop man. I sure am. Yes, I work at the local school here at Mullumbimby, and I do the lollipops in the afternoon most of the time. Well, if you want to know what a lollipop is, it's someone who helps the kids across the road at school, yeah, in the afternoons and stuff. So, Capybara, welcome. Hi from Mildura, Victoria. G'day, Christopher. We got Mel from Adelaide. Good hello there. And as I said, it's 9:16, mate. 9:09. Oh, we're running through here. And wow, this is really cool. All right, so we got some questions rolling in here. Now, the Vermi Hut worm bin. No, I don't have one of those. We've got different brands here in Australia as well, but some of them are international, some are, but most of them are pretty similar. So if you're not sure about the brand, just ask. Flow through is like one that's like a hungry bin style, where it's like a larger bin, and you feed from the top, you get it out of the bottom. And then the other ones are like tiered systems. So you've got shelvings that you're moving it out and stack on each other. They're stackable ones. And, obviously there are some differences between the brands, but most of the systems work quite well. And then you've got the underground worm farm and, a few other sort of types here and there. But basically they're either flow through or stackable most of the time. So just keep that in mind. And we'll keep rolling here. Rick Nielsen. Been using sugarcane mulch in my second tier for my Taj Mahal wormery. It's making a huge difference with more carbon. Thanks for the tip. No problem. If you haven't seen the Taj Mahal video, just type in Taj Mahal on my channel. Check out that way of worm farming. You can use any type of like straw bales, sugarcane, that sort of stuff, that sort of material, different grasses and things like that to build a more of a different type of carbon-based worm farm, and they work really good. Like, it's just another way to do it. And in my new channel, we're going to be showing all these different ways of building these different farms, because some people, like they're in the city and they just don't have access to things like sugarcane, stuff like that. So they might be using cocoa fiber and some mixture of cardboard and newspaper. Other people will be using whatever, they've got sort of lying around. So yeah, we're going to look at that, and we're going to build it out like the wormery, right? So like, it's pretty cool so far. There's going to be lots more. If you've been watching the show earlier, down on my other property, you'd see that I had the big landscaping area where I started at the side of the house selling compost, and then we moved to the landscaping area, and I had lots of worm farms, all different sizes. And so we're going to have more definitely this time. And so if we have more, it very likely means that we will be moving into well, I don't want to make any promises because I want to extend myself, but it very looks like if I can get the helping hand that I need, then we will be micro farming at the same time. Just depends, all to do with time and how things are going and stuff like that. And running it as everything as a business, we'll go for what's most efficient, most profitable. And at the same time, Marty's Garden is about an educational, inspirational channel where I can inspire you and educate you if you're just getting started, or you're sort of like intermediate, or you're getting and moving into being a pro. I'm also going to set up something. I'm going to speak to my business advisor about it on Monday. So you could possibly call me. We can do a live one-on-one. There'll be a fee to speak with me for a live one-on-one. And if that's really interests you, let me know in the comments box, in the rerun, or in the chat as well. I know you can ask me here in these questions, but we probably won't be shooting as many live shows for a while. So if you need my help, I think that will be something that will be going up in the future. But as I said, I've got to speak to my business advisor about it and see whether we put it on the website or not. Barry, currently doing rehabilitation, not doing much. Well, it's unreal that you're here, Barry, and if everyone's listening, please pray for my friend Barry. I think he had some type of brain issue going on, and yeah, lovely man, loves his worm farming and being into community gardens and things like that. So prayers go out for you, mate, and yeah, others, please do also. Owain's Worm Farm. Which worms do you use in the subtropics? That's our first double whammy question for the day. What we're going to do, I'm just going to show you something before we do that. Now, if you want it, there's another way you can support this channel startup as well, because we're doing a bit of a fundraiser today as well. We can do it via super chats and super stickers in the comments. And yeah, be unreal. Any amount just really helps. Anything, you know, small, whatever, it just helps. And this is what you get. You get an applause from the artificial crowd. Ready, super chats or super stickers. And yeah, it all adds up. Like I said, we've still got about another, close to $200 to go. But, over 2 days, we've done very, very well. So, and this message that I'm going to be spreading, we're getting it out international. So just by those little bit of helping hands, buying me a coffee, buying a Worm Farm ebook, a little super chat and things like that, you can believe how much this channel has changed and changed people's lives as well. And once we mix in the Marty's Garden channel, integrated, so the gardening and everything, the worm farming gardening style and the composting, everything, organic gardening, permaculture stuff, and then just the other channel, just the worm farming. Once those two blend together, we've got a supercharged powerhouse to reach a lot more people, educate a lot more people, and also help this place grow into a better place. Because I know a lot of people have reached out to me over the years and said just how much it's helped them. So yeah, keep on rolling. It's just one of the reasons why I do it. Actually, it's one of the main reasons why I do it. But as we know, we're running a little business here and got to have some type of income coming in. Otherwise, everything just shuts down around you, as you know. So let's answer this question. Owain's Worm Farm. Which worms do you use in the subtropics? Now, in the subtropics, you can use nearly all of them. That's the beautiful thing about it, because we get a mild, cold winter, not overly, no ice. And, if you're out west a little bit, you still get frost and stuff. But I live fairly close to the coast. Can get some frost here where I live, but they're pretty rare. So we can pretty much do them all. That's the beauty in the subtropics. And I find that in winter time, the European night crawlers do better. In the summertime, the African night crawlers do better. And the rest of the year, all the other ones do great. Like the tigers just do great all year round. And if you're ever wondering what little tiger worm is, the one with the little yellow tip on the tail, Acina fetida is a Latin name. And that's my favourite compost worm out of all of them. They're just one of the hardiest, toughest consumers that there are. They breed, they feed like crazy. Just love them. So if I was going to choose one right now for 2020, end of 2022, going to 2023, that would be my favourite. But I usually just, when people have got them, they're selling them, I just go for mixes. Mixes I find work the best for me. And, certain ones, certain times a year, do much better. All right, Deborah B, brand new beginner me. Well, welcome, Deborah. And, there's plenty of content here on the Marty's Garden channel to help you get started. And if you want to, there is some links down below to get access to the ebooks. And also there is, I don't mention it all the time, but there also is a video course here for the Worm Wranglers members area. And you just go through in the little 5-minute videos. You can do the whole thing in about probably half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. And you'll learn everything you need from underground worm farming. There's even a course in starting your own organic seedlings using worm farming and all the stuff that worms make to make awesome seedlings. So for another great way to save money. So that's a faster way to do it, Deborah. If not, just go through my channel and devour all the videos and you'll learn plenty anyway. Rick Nielsen. So some reason today, my software, let's see if I can, it's not showing me, like, I don't know why it does this, but some weeks it sort of makes the text smaller, and today the text big. So it's showing me it's going off the side. So hopefully I can read it all. I live on the east coast of Australia in Brisbane. Red wigglers seem to be the most productive for my need. I think they're just one of the best all-rounders, and they just do great. Yeah. All right, cool, Deborah. Go into the level 3. That's where you get access to everything. And then once you do the courses, if you want to stay on a support channel, you can go back to a level 2 or a level 1. Up to you where you want to stay at what levels. But yeah, that's what I recommend people do. And then that way it's, I think it's $3 a month just to support a channel. But you can move up and down your grade. So if you just want to do the seedling course, you can go to level 2. If you want to do the whole thing, just go to level 3 and then downgrade a bit later. So that's a good way to do it. And we are waiting for any of your worm farming questions, my friends. Great to see you all here again. If you're new to my channel, g'day, my name's Marty Ware, and I'm an agricultural horticulturist. And so I studied agriculture and horticulture at the same time at college, and been doing this for well over a decade now, and just love it. And I teach organic gardening and worm farming and how to use all your composts and inputs and things like that to make sustainable, beautiful, edible gardens at home and keep your costs low. So yeah, that's what it is all about. And it's just great to have you all here today. We've got 17 people watching, 12 thumbs up. As I said, this would be the last live show for the season because we're kicking off the new channel. We're building out the new wormery. There'll be updates all the time on the Marty's Garden channel as we're moving through into that, and then they'll run side by side to each other. And as people are more into the gardening side of things, just watch the Marty's Garden. People are more into the worm farming side of things, can just watch the worm farming, or you can watch both because they're going to integrate together. And I'll be talking about both channels in one. So if that interests you, yeah, hang in there and keep on watching the show. All right, so let's go across here. Morning from the Redlands. I have the same work bin you do, and it's going great guns, but I would like to keep the BSF out of it, or find a way to harvest the BSF from the worm farms to give to the chooks. I don't understand the terminology BSF. Excuse me if I'm missing something there. You've got the work bin, so you're talking about the biggest worm farm ever. What type? So I just need a bit more information so I can actually help you with that, because you want to find. But if you want to harvest the worm farm, the worms, in the Worm Wranglers members area, the level 3, there's actually a full video on the professional way to harvest your worms. And I've just, that's one reason. It's the only thing that I've kept out that's just in the members area that I haven't shared in my content over the years, because that's one of the ways that I make some of my income to keep this thing rolling. So it's only it's $15 to go in there if that helps you. It teaches you how to harvest really quickly and get it done properly. And you look, there's lots of other gold in there as well. So a question here from Deborah B. How many worms should I start with? Now that's a great question, Deborah B. Now composting worms, generally what we start with is a minimum of 1,000. Many people do start with 500, but it just takes longer to breed them up. The other option is you can actually start with, you can buy cocoons, and generally in a cocoon packet, it'll say equivalent to 1,000 worms. Now that takes about 6 weeks for them all to hatch generally. Sometimes you'll find little hatchlings already in there when you open the packet. And then it takes about another 3 weeks for them to grow to size and up to get to breeding size. So we're looking at sort of like around about, 10 weeks really before they really start getting productive. But if we buy 1,000 worms, and hopefully if you can get them to, most of them are big breeders, then, you know, within a few weeks, they're laying cocoons. You get 1 to 3 cocoon in each one. So I recommend going for a minimum of 1,000 compost worms. And, you know, if in the right warm season, they'll breed up 3 times the amount. So you could have 3 times the amount in 3 months if you're doing really well in the right season. So there's the answer to that question, Deborah B. BSF is black soldier fly. Okay, I haven't really done much with black soldier flies. I may do in the future for my chickens, but at the moment I haven't done anything with that, so I can't really say I'm an expert in the black soldier fly. Sorry. Okay, next one. Let's move it across to Amuriana. And after that, we're going to move into and give a shout out to the people that have supported the startup for the new channel. Amuriana. I have the 3 levels on and they are nice and full. And the black soldier flies keep breeding in there as well. About to add 1 more level and take a level off. Okay, so I get it now. Well, don't worry about them. I never worry about soldier flies being in there. And yeah, they're not a problem at all. Unless you're getting infestations. Then we sort of got to look at the way that we're controlling our farm. But if there's just a few here and there, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Do I add my new level to the bottom or the top? You add the new level to the top because the worms are always coming from the bottom up to the top. They're surface feeders and generally they're going across the surface and feeding that way. Occasionally they dive, but generally they're surface feeders. So yeah, we rotate up so the food and the main food and the castings go down to the bottom because castings drop down as well because they're heavier. So hopefully that answers your question, Umuriana. And I've got your name right. Please forgive me if I haven't. Marty, I'm glad you're going to develop a separate worm channel. Knowing there's an Aussie wormer giving helpful advice, especially for our time zone, is crucial. You're very welcome, Rick. I sort of feel that it's the way to go to dedicate the 2 and cross 2 over, and it won't be really much more work for me anyway because I'm already building out these worm farms and wormeries to grow my own plants, and this is how I do things. And I don't want to have confusion between the 2 channels, and the whole thing is to get people back. So if one person's not into worm farming, they see a worm farming video, they don't come back. They come back for the gardening ones, then they, you know, like vice versa. So yeah, and also I can develop another brand at the same time around worm farming because I want to hang on to the Marty's Garden brand, and I can develop a separate brand in the worm farming. So yeah, it's pretty exciting times. Thanks for that, for the comment. Deborah B, I'm in Brisbane. Can I get them from you or closer to home? Yes, what you can do. Now, it's a bit tricky getting compost worms. Go into Gumtree and have a look in Gumtree and see where the closest ones are. Now, I know Facebook Marketplace are starting to allow people to sell compost worms. They didn't before, anything to do with animals, but I've seen them popping up here and there. So occasionally I get mine from different places off Gumtree, and I buy also my larger stocks when I was down the coast from wormbiz.com.au. Not sponsored. Peter's a good friend of mine. He's in some of my videos from a few years ago, and he's down in the Camden Haven area, Taree, Camden Haven area, but he does post them. And so wormbiz.com.au, they're very good worms. But firstly, look and try and support local if you can, and have a look in Gumtree, Deborah. If you're ever coming down this way, I'm in Mullumbimby, you can just send me a message. Go to martysgarden.com.au. In the box there, just type something in and I will get back to you. Okay, let's keep rolling on here. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll have like the micro farm will be selling all this stuff. It's just a matter of just, if Marty's Garden, if I can get this kicking off better, and we can actually like put some people on to help me with work, then we can scale up much better. At the moment, it's just a one-man show, and we sort of like we stay right on this edge because we got no extra help. So if I can get things kicking along, then yeah, we'll have some extra help and some things like that. Who knows? It could happen. All right, let's keep rolling on here. So I can take the bottom level off and add that to the garden. Yes, you can. Just make sure all the compost worms are out of there. As I said, in the Worm Wranglers level 3 area, it shows you how to collect the castings, get the worms out, save them, and then there's also like in there, there's also how to use all the worm castings with your plants and raised seedlings and all that type of stuff. So super value, like with quadruple time of what it is. These courses, they don't exist. So yeah, they are there if you want to take that on. If not, if you're not worried about losing a few worms here and there, just do that. All right. Oh, Wayne's Worm Farm. Do you add any minerals? Do you add any minerals to your worm farm, Marty? For example, calcium and magnesium and or other minerals. I do at times add rock dust when I can buy it cheaply. So the rock dust that comes out of volcanoes, and I buy it in bulk. So the same stuff the organic farmers use, I get it from co-ops and places like that. I've got to hunt some more down. So yes, I do use it from time to time. If not, I just use so the magnesium. So I'm just using dolomite, eggshell is the main ones that I use, and then occasionally I'll hunt down the other stuff. And that I'm glad you mentioned that, because it reminds me that I need to find a few bags of the stuff. It's pretty good when you can find it from a co-op that the farmer's using. You buy big bags of it, much cheaper than you would at like Bunnings or something like that. You just get ripped off buying it there. Okay, loving your channel. I'm new to watching it. Been watching Self-Sufficient Me and love the joint video. Well, thank you so much. That's great. Yeah, Mark's a cool dude. Hopefully we'll be seeing him again just after Christmas time, but we'll see how it goes, man. Everyone's so busy. Like, we're supposed to be quietening down and calming things down, but life just doesn't seem to be. The technology's supposed to make it easier, but because we're just getting bang, 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 all this stuff thrown in front of us all the time, trying to get our attention, it seems to like all of a sudden just suck our time away. And being a dad, that's pretty tight. Takes my time too. Anyone knows that they've got a family and things like that, well, it's pretty time consuming, but it's a great thing to do, right? Unreal. Well, thanks, Deborah. That's wonderful stuff. Thanks for joining me, becoming a worm wrangler. Congratulations. We will give you an applause. We got a new worm wrangler member. Thanks, Deborah, for coming in. Anyone wants to leave a super chat or a super sticker to help with the donations towards launching the new channel, we've got some links and stuff down below in the description and things like that. You can check them out later if you want to do that. There's lots of different ways you can help to make it happen. All right, so let's keep going. We're getting some great questions here coming in. Now, if you just rolled in to the beginning to the show, you can always go back and watch from the beginning, and the whole thing will be pre-recorded and you'll be able to watch the whole show. We're running for an hour today. We've been going for half an hour already. 16 people watching, and 24 people watching, and 16 thumbs up. So if you haven't given us a big thumbs up yet, please do, because what we try and do, we play a game here. We try and keep, with how many people watching, the level of thumbs up higher than the people watching. And so we're at 17 thumbs up, 23 people watching. So let's get a few more thumbs up, guys, and we will keep rolling with the show. Deborah B, what's the best soil to start with? So I would recommend that hang on, let me start again with this. What's the best soil to start with? So you're basically mean for the bedding, for the worm compost. So as a brand new beginner, I would just start off with mushroom compost. You can buy a bag of it from the shop, or get yourself a block of, if you're buying a new worm farm, there'll be a block of the cocoa fiber inside. If you've got a second-hand worm farm, don't buy the cheap blocks of cocoa fiber. It's too much salt in it. Go for the more expensive one. They're generally about $10 for the block. The ones that are specially designed for worm farms, they'll just do much better overall. And so that's one of the best easiest ways to get started. You just soak that block in some water. It's pH neutral. It's got no bad stuff in it. And you just put your worms in, and they just start populating over time. And anyway, you'll learn all this in the Worm Wranglers members area. It's all there for you, Deborah B. But if you've got any questions, feel free. This is today to keep answering, and I'm happy to answer them for you, even if they are in the Worm Wranglers one. But if it comes down to the harvesting, that's the only place you'll have to go to get that. All right. What will you call the new channel? That's a really good question. Now, as I said, more towards the beginning, excuse me, itchy nose again. The beginning of the show, I've had a few people going in and sort of like grabbing some of my concepts and stuff like that, and not so much copycatting, but sort of. And I don't want to give it out, because if someone just grabs it, then I'll lose that one. It's really important to me. So you're just gonna have to wait until the day of the launch of Away to Worm Farm. I wish I could tell you, but I just got to save it just in case, because as I said, it's been happening to me. Wash the cocoa, yeah. So that's another good point. Just give it a really good rinse, 2 or 3 times. But if you get the more expensive stuff, you generally, you just wash it once, and it's ready to roll. The cheapest stuff, I've got a video about it. I can't remember. It's the best cocoa fiber or something. You type in cocoa fiber into Marty's Garden, you'll see the full history about how they make this stuff. It just sits in these big salt pans next to the side of the beach, and where the coconut thing's in this water, and it's just full of salt. So the cheaper it is, the more salt it's got in it, because it gets less processed and washed and stuff. So if you go with the real cheap stuff, just really, really wash it, and it will work. Rick Nielsen, has your new raised garden sunk much since you're using the sugarcane much as your bottom layer? Now, that's a great question, Rick. They have sunk a little bit. Now, I want to actually put something across, because I didn't get a chance to really share that in that content. Now, I'm doing things a little bit differently. If you've been watching the channel, you may have figured it out. I grow a lot on sugarcane and grass bales and things to build up soil profiles, to get the worms to come up from underneath and start feeding and building the soil underneath the bale. So that means when they're coming up under the bale, they're burrowing and pulling carbon back down. So not only have I got a nice big bale above, but I'm also building a soil like another good couple of feet below, because the worms are coming up and doing this and drilling holes and bringing the carbon up and down. So I'm actually building twice the size. Now, I'm doing the same sort of thing in those beds, but because I actually do micro farming stuff, and I understand about building composts and making worm castings and all that stuff, I actually will be backfilling it up with my own compost as I go. So yesterday, last couple of days, I've just been putting a bit of mushroom compost around the plants, because the soil from that place that I bought, the pH was 8, too alkaline, and so I'm adding some more 7.5s, sort of around that sort of hang on a sec, I'm getting it wrong here. So we're going around about 6.5 for acidity, and that's where we're going to be sort of floating between the 7 and 6.5 for the plants. And so as I'm farming my compost worms and making these my windrows and things like that, I actually will be getting that out. So I bring in large amounts of compost, sits in a windrow, worms go through it, and they go off to the garden. So I create these systems, these centralized loops, and I'll be filling it as I go. And I want all those microbes and everything I'm building these established soils. Sounds a bit scientific, but it's quite simple when you think about the microbes and everything, and the worms and everything will come up underneath and move into the system. And if there's just full of too many big logs and things, which is an okay way to do it, there's so many different ways, right? I'm just doing it a little bit different. because I want to have a really good high quality compost in there. And the soils you buy from these landscaping places, I paid top dollar for that one. And they go, yeah, that's my premium. Looks great. To be honest, I can make a zillion times better, and there's no way I'm going to fill my whole garden beds with that. And I don't want to fill it all big with too many big logs and things that take a long time to break down, because I'm going to be sticking worm farms in those garden beds, and they're actually going to be self-fertilizing and moving through. Now the big compost worms will go up and down much further. The earthworms will be coming down up underneath, and that whole thing will be just like an extension of the earth. So it won't be, and the compost worms will be going on the top. The earthworms will be coming up underneath, and it'll be, I believe it'll just be amazing. The food that will be coming out of here by next season, it's going to be so good. It's all right now even, but I haven't even got started really. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, I'm just getting started. So hopefully that hasn't been too much of a rant there, but they have dropped a bit, but I'll just be filling them up as we go. Now, if you can't afford it, you don't have a lot of money and things like that, just use the big logs, go the hugelkultur, and then just have a couple of feet of soil, and then just feed from the top, and you'll still get very good results. I'm just looking at my whole things being massive big worm farms at the same time. So that sugarcane and everything that's underneath, when that gets wet, they'll be moving into that and dropping cocoons and things in there, and we'll be getting explosions of compost worms and stuff, especially the night crawlers. They go down deeper. So yeah, it's exciting times. I just thought of giving away a bit of sort of long-term things that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, and I know they work because I've tried them before. All right, let's keep on rolling here. Should I bother with red wrigglers as a casual fisherman? No, they're too small. I was going to throw them in the leaf pile. Never tried them for fishing, but people say they get less bites than earthworms. Truth to this, I would actually build up a compost pile that attracts earthworms, your local earthworm. Don't start harvesting from them straight away. What you want to do is you want to get them in, and then you want to feed that area, and then you have another zone where you build the next one, and you harvest from one spot only, and that way you won't exhaust your compost worms. They'll be able to breed in the one spot and move over into the other spot, and you'll be able to just harvest from one side. And you can do it that way. We used to get them from when I was a kid, because I used to do a lot of freshwater fishing, just from the bird aviary, from my friend's bird aviary, because they come up and eat all the bird poop, and we just dig it out. But as I said, you can exhaust them doing it that way. Can't wait. Yeah. Me neither, man. It's getting exciting. Hey, Daisy, how you going there? Nice to see ya. Yeah, that's a good, some good advice there. That's what most people use, are the night crawlers. Love the hay bale idea. Yeah, they do shrink down. It does, like on top of have a look at the regeneration videos on my channel, and you'll see how I'm doing it. And there is one you can watch. It's 45 minutes long, but it shows you everything from the beginning to the end. So I think that's about 3 videos down, second video down or something. You'll see it there. And you can watch right from the beginning how I'm doing the hay bales, the worm farming together. And we're about halfway through the hay bales now. There'll be an extension going on to them in the near future, but they work great. And so I wouldn't recommend filling them up with into the big raised beds like I have. It's not expensive. They do drop quite a lot, and you need to use the big logs. But like I said, it's the way I'm doing it, because I'm building up the micro farm at the same time and backfilling the whole time and just planting on top, putting more in, planting on top, putting more in, planting on top. That works for me. And Greenleaf Gardening. See ya, mate. Thanks for coming. Let's give our little friend an applause there. Lots of love to you, bro. Take care. I'm pretty sure he's got a little channel there going on. All right, 18Bs. Holla, Wemmies. Holla, 18Bs. A big supporter for the Marty's Garden Show. So thank you so much for that, my friend. And you've got a great channel all about sustainable beekeeping and getting the logs and things. Really dig it. AJ, I'm composting in buckets on my balcony. To speed things up, I'm putting the bottom layer of the compost in the worm farm. Is there any other way to speed up the process? I need the compost on the cheap. Okay. You're putting the bottom layer of the compost in the worm farm. You just need to scale up, go bigger, basically. You know, like, yeah, if you're putting, it's a good idea to use compost in the worm farm. It's probably some of the best stuff you'll get, and then you put the carbon on top. So I really like the compost and then the sugarcane on top, nice big thick layer. That works really great. Which I teach like in the Taj Mahal method. You can use just all sugarcane, but yeah, compost with the sugarcane on top, that's really great. And you know, look, it's a patience game, and if you just scale up more, you will get more. That's just basically how it works. Other than that, if you're doing something like you want to go even bigger, you do what I do and do windrow farming. So hopefully that helps. I'm not too sure if I've answered correctly there for you, AJ, but I'll always do my best to help you if I can. All right, so we're trying to raise some money today also for the new channel, and if you've done so already, I want to thank you so much. We're going to go across and we're going to have a look at the people that have been sharing so far, and I'll just go into here and give them a nice big shout out because I want to thank them for everything that they've done so far. And we will go here, share the screen, and here we go. Let's get this off. And so this is the Marty's Garden Buy Me a Coffee page where you can become a member for $5 a month. It's another option to becoming a member to on the channel. And some people prefer this, some people prefer to get the content on the channel, and it's just easier for them. So yeah, there's a couple of choices there, but I just want to scroll down and show you here. So we've got Danielle, Josh Adhana, bought 5 coffees. Thank you, Danielle. Pepe Fassos, 20 coffees. Thank you, mate. Nathan Greco, 5 coffees. Alicia Colby, David, Chris is a member now. Welcome to the group there, Chris. Thank you very much for your ongoing support. Linda Ryan, Chelsea Robke. Chelsea Robke's also a member there. That's wonderful. I think we've got about 33 members or something in here now. I'd have to double check. Not sure exactly. Angelique bought 5 coffees. Someone who wants to remain private bought 5 coffees. Edwin bought a coffee. Michael Godbold bought a coffee and says, oh, yeah, it's just so great. Rosemary Ryan bought 10 coffees. And we've got Corrine bought 5 coffees. Angela D bought the worm farming book, Starting a Worm Farm, a Beginner's Guide. Deborah Boston become a member. And this is just unreal. Will Pierce bought the worm farming book. Now, if I've missed you here, sorry about that. We will just keep on rolling back to the camera now. So that's my big shout out. And what we're going to do is we've got some, I don't know if that horn doesn't do the job, but thank you everyone for your support so far. We've been able to buy 2 worm farms. We've got a worm cafe, the round one. I forget what they're called now, if you remember what they're called. We've got 2 sort of DIY farms that have like flow through the like little tiny hungry bin farms that I purchased from the same person that I bought the 6,000 worms from. We've got 3,000 big breeders, then another 3,000 mix of like all different sizes with cocoons and everything in. And so we're building out those farms. And I've also bought a cubic meter, so 3 square feet of mushroom compost. It's a little bit hot at the moment, still a bit fresh, so that's sitting in a windrow at the moment. We've also got, which I haven't mentioned yet, we've been donated a tumbler, I believe, and also an open worm farm, so one of the smallest sort of versions of the biggest worm farm ever. So just an open compost bin where it reaches the ground, and that'll stick on the end of the windrow for the wormery. All the worm farms will be connected, so when any worms escape, they'll be able to go to another worm farm or into the windrow. So we save any little guys that get out, because as we know, They do like to escape from time to time, and they have different reasons for doing so. So we just give them another spot to get to, and I used to do all that on the other space. The other place we had at Marty's garden, if a worm got out, he found another good place to live. So that way we keep them breeding and feeding all on site, and they even start making me a little bit of money on the side as well, and get a little bit extra cash flow in as we're building up the Marty's Garden channel and the other new channel with the name that is yet to be announced. Now, we've got 20 people watching, 24 thumbs up. We have 10 minutes to go, my friends, and I will be closing up. So if you got any more questions, fire away. We may go 5 minutes over or something like that. I'm just going to save my voice. But if you've got any worm farming, organic gardening questions, fire away. And I would love to hear from them. This is the last show for the season. I'm going to be working on getting this new channel up and running. Do you prefer windrows to your stackable worm farms? The answer is yes and no. Well, I wouldn't say yes and no. I like both. And if you just got a small space, you just want to have the stackable worm farms. If you're going to be doing a larger volume scale, it's cheaper to do windrows than buying lots and lots of stackable worm farms. It's less time consuming, and you can have a viable product to sell out of that. And probably the most consuming part about having windrows is you have to have a lot of worms, because you do lose worms if you're selling bags and you're selling things, because you just don't have time to sort them all and stuff, because the sorting is the most sort of boring, time repetitive thing. That's why I teach in the course in the worm wranglers area how to do it quite fast, because it can be quite time consuming if you're doing it incorrectly. But I have systems in place now where we always have the breeders, and if any worms go out and people get them in their bags and things like that, they're stoked because they get some extra worms and things, and it shows them that the soil that I'm selling, the compost, is really fertile. So I like to add them to it. But if I just had a little courtyard and just a small space, just doing some potted gardens, little mini garden, I wouldn't bother, to tell you the truth. I just have the biggest worm farm ever and a couple of stackables, and that would be my answer. Deborah B. That answers my question. I joined with my surname, not Deborah B. Lol. That's okay. I'll know who you are, because I think you're probably the only person that's come in today to maybe join into the members area, Deborah. We don't get a lot of people roll in there, but it's instantly accessible to you now. As soon as you do that, you can watch all the videos and things like that. Just let me have a little drink of water. Drinking from my honey jar today, recycling with the filtered water. And so it's been a great show so far, and I just want to thank everyone for coming in and watching. It's been absolutely awesome. And I would keep running them on Saturday, but I think I don't want to overextend myself. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm on the Marty's Garden channel, I'm going to be announcing sort of the movement of the new channel, and then we'll be producing content on both of them. So it's pretty exciting that we can actually do that. Now, if anyone's got any questions at all, don't be afraid to ask them. Whatever level that you're at, no question is regarded as stupid or silly or anything like that. We've got everything from beginners, from people just starting up, to people that do this for a living here, coming onto here. And so, if you want to check out another worm farming channel, you can check out Owain's Worm Farm right here on YouTube. Hope it's local honey. I missed something there. Did I mention anything about honey? But yes, buy local if you can, for sure. I always recommend that. Oh, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Haruka Mizuni. Lovely to see you here. If you've come in late and you want to watch the show again, you can always go back to the rerun. Once we finish up, there'll be a pre-recording here on the channel, and yeah, you won't miss any of it then. And then we will have some new videos coming out. New video coming out through the week. I'm sort of working on some stuff for here in the garden, and then getting the wormery ready, and then we'll start filming out there for the wormery. And so that's pretty exciting. And what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to launch like 3 videos at once. So when you go in, you'll watch like more than one video, and that'll clock up some watch time quicker on the channel, and then it will let YouTube know, oh, people are watching more videos at once than just one. And it'll help the channel sort of launch a bit more, because we need to get to 1,000 subscribers on that channel and 4,000 watch hours before I can apply for the AdSense income like we get here on the Marty's Garden channel, to really get things going into the first lot of small income that will be coming through. And then we'll work out on doing some other stuff as well to make it really interactive. I want to really get involved with you guys, how to make it as interactive in the community as possible. And we will run other worm farming live shows on that channel. So you won't see really, it'll be different live shows in here when they run from time to time, more of organic gardening, and then the live worm farming channels will be, videos will be on that. That all makes sense, right? So yeah, better space, better place, and more targeted on the audience. Deborah B, thank you, Marty. I'll be coming down to Bimby. Yeah, cool. I don't have any compost worms for sale at the moment though, Deborah. I'm just kicking off, so it could be a way off. But like I said, you can text me and or message me, and I could give you the she's in Southport, the lady that I bought mine from. She might have some extra worms for you, but you're welcome at some stage to message me and pop down. I just don't have any worms for sale, but I will have in the near future compost and things like that, and things to help you with your worm farming journey. And I'll be happy to talk to you on the phone, but just go through the Marty's Garden website there, and I'll send you my phone number, or you can also just look up Marty's Garden and where I was before in the Camden Haven area. There's a phone number there, so you can access that there and SMS me as well. Okay, Robbie Marino. Good morning, Marty. Hope you're well, mate. Really good. Just absolutely stoked. And it hasn't been raining. We've had so much rain with all the floods and everything. It's been dry for about 2 weeks, which is just brilliant. So yeah, I've been having to go out and water the garden, believe it or not. Pelican Pants. I bought a heap of aged mill mud and arranged it in a windrow to start a veggie patch. Would you add cocoons to the row? If there's... Okay, now... I don't really understand mill mud, but if it's a compost that's breaking down, if it's gone from hot to cold, yes, you could add some cocoons to it within about, if the weather's warm, they need that sort of like 18 to 24 degrees temperature. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, 75, I think it's 24. Then you would basically, within about 10 weeks, they would be up, and then you'd have a few breeders in there. So that's a good, cheap way to do it. And you want to cover it with a bit of a blanket or something like that, the area where you put the cocoons in. I would get a bag of compost, put the bag of compost into the windrow, put the cocoons in, cover it over with some Hessian mat, get some wet newspaper with some balls of it, throw that in there so they got a moist spot to go to, and keep it nice and moist, and just use dechlorinated water, and that'll kick off your windrow. Rick the Lane, have a nice day, Marty and everyone. Yes, we are very close to finishing up. So what I'm going to do now is, if you're new to the show, what we do is I put the theme song on. We drag across the comments and I wave goodbye to everyone. Say goodbye to your friends in here as well. If you haven't heard this song before, it is a beautiful song, and I highly recommend that you listen to it. And say goodbye to the people also in the chat box. You made some friends and relationships here and stuff like that. And I'll give you a wave goodbye at the same time. So thank you so much for coming. But like I said, don't go yet. We're going to put it on and get you guys across into the sliding action. Let's go.
To the river we go. Leave our worries on the shore and drift away. On the river we know. Sometimes the perfect words are never said. I spilled my coffee, I don't feel like talking. My worries just keep growing by the day. I need a moment where the green and blue appear. Just spin a rock and watch the ricochet. To the river we go. Leave our worries on the shore and drift away. On the river we know. Sometimes the perfect words are left unsaid. You could change your mind when you're intertwined with the water and the waves. As I grow older, well, that boat I'll never sail. It works better than the pills the doctor gave. And with that old fishing pole, I still catch 'em by the bucketful. The kids are helping on the grill and sneak a taste. To the river we go. Leave our worries on the shore and drift away. On the river we know. Sometimes the perfect words are never said. You could change your mind when you're intertwined with the water and the waves. I hope you find this place before you end your days. And if you see me out there, wave hello.
Wow, what an amazing song. What an awesome show. We will have more content for you coming up into the Christmas, into the new year. Just this will be the last live show for the Saturday. Who knows, I may run a sporadic one if we get a bit of time, but I'll let you know in the posts plenty of time in advance if that's the case, or in another video. But for now, we're going to build out the new worm farming channel, work on the Marty's garden, and then next year I go off to film school. Lots going on, and I'm just going to, as I said, just keep making this better and better for you guys, for your experience, for my experience, and to get the word out there so people can learn how to grow fresh food at home using all their own inputs, farming worms, composting, all this stuff, and moving away from all those stupid chemical fertilizers that we just don't need. Start healing the planet at the same time as we do it, healing our lives and bringing more joy to you and communities. Have a great day. Happy everything. And we will see you at the next video real soon. Bye for now. Oh, hit the microphone then. Luckily it's on a stand. All right. See you guys. Love you all. Bye.